Welcome back guys, we're back again with another Minecraft tutorial. This time we're going to be going over how to add the Pixelmon mod to your server and also to your PC, so you can either play in single player worlds or you can add it to your server, get started playing with all your friends with all the cool mods that Pixelmon has. So this is going to be quite an in-depth video. I'm going to be using SeekaHost here, our sponsor. If you want to check them out, I'll leave a link in the description. They got loads of good packages, starting from a small family and friends one, all the way up to a custom huge server for hundreds of people. So with that, let's get into it. And the first thing that we're going to want to do is actually change our server type. We're going to be using a hosted server rather than one that we're hosting ourselves. I believe that to be better. You get better hardware, better security, and you don't have to go through all the port forwarding and stuff like that. So we're going to be using SeekaHost like I said earlier, and the first thing you're going to do is want to change your server jar. Before you do this, just make sure you haven't got any other files. If you have been running another server, it might be worth going to files, going to setup, and doing a clean mon directories and plugins, and also delete all server files, pop in your password and hit apply. Another way to do this is connect up through FileZilla. As you can see here, I am connected up. There is nothing in my server directory because I highlighted it all, deleted it, and I've got a nice fresh server, so it won't have any mix up with any other files from any other Java types or any Bedrock servers depending on what you've been hosting. So for Pixelmon, we're going to need 1.12.2 version for the one that we're playing right now. So what we're going to want to do is open up our server jar. We want to come down to Forge and we want to find 1.12.2. So let's go ahead and click that. If you want to change any other information, go ahead and do it now before you hit save. Then hit save and then get your server started. That will just kick in all the Forge jar files. It will all load up so you can actually run a Forge server, add your mods to it, so you and your friends can join online. That should only take about 30 seconds here on SeekaHost. It really is quite quick, and just like that, we're on a Forge 1.12.2 server. Now for the next important bit, which is actually downloading the Pixelmon mod and also getting the Forge installer. So we are going to go through everything. If you do want to skip to a certain part because you've already done this, use the timestamps below in the description and you can skip past this bit if you've already done it. So next up is actually going to be installing the Forge, so your launcher will be able to launch Forge 1.12. If you are using the CurseForge app, a little bit different, you can just go to browse mod packs and find the mod pack that way and get it installed. However, I'm going to be using the old school method, or just the method I find to work really well, and that's going to be downloading the actual Forge one. So let's go ahead, and on the left hand side you're going to see that we have a 1.12 version. Let's go ahead, click on that, and then it's going to give us the three versions available. We want to go for 1.12.2, so let's go and click on this. It's now taking us to the installer page, and it's going to give us two options, whether we want to download the latest or the recommended one. You can of course check for numbers here to make sure what works with what, but I've tried this already and we're going to go for the recommended. That works really well, and let's go ahead and download the installer. Now when it opens up this page, just make sure you don't click anything. On the top right corner you're going to see a countdown to 5. Once that countdown, you can then hit skip, and then you can start downloading the file. Just make sure you actually keep here. Of course, make sure that it is the correct file, that it's the Forge 1.12.2 installer jar. We don't want any other files, so let's go ahead and keep that because we're going to need it. So we can see we've downloaded the Forge file over here. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go over, I'm just going to cut it from here, and I'm going to paste it into my folder so I know exactly where it is. All I'm going to do is create a folder on my desktop. You can of course just put it on your desktop, put it wherever you know that you're going to be able to access it again. I've made a Pixelmon folder just here. You can literally put this anywhere. I'm just going to paste it right here. Just make sure to actually close this page down, so it's got full, it's full of ads that you really don't want to click on that page. So now we want to get the Forge installer installed, of course, so we can actually go ahead and play with the mods. To get started with, it will be able to play on our PC, and of course once we install the mods on our server, we'll be able to play on both. So what you're going to want to do is just find the file here called Forge. It's got to look like that with that particular icon right there, the Java icon, and you're going to want to go down to open with, and you're going to find open JDK platform binary. It's Java and you need to have it installed for it to play. If you don't have it installed, no problem. What I'll do is I'll leave a link in the bottom. You can just go ahead and install it. Install that before you try to install Forge, because you need the Java for it to actually work. If that still doesn't work and your icons are coming up not as the Java icon sign that you're expecting, I'll leave another link for a fixer. All you got to do is open that up, press OK, and it will fix all your files so they're able to work. Now just make sure you actually do this, otherwise your Forge won't work on your PC. So now we've got that done, we've opened with the Java. It's going to ask whether we want to install for client or install for server. So we've already got it installed on our server, we don't need to worry about that, so we can just do install client, and let's go ahead and click OK. Now what it's going to do is going to download all the libraries that we need, and as quickly as that, it's done. Now just to check that it's actually been downloaded, let's open up our Minecraft launcher over here, and we're just going to go to the installations and see, or make sure that we actually have our Forge 1.12.2 installation, and as you can see, it is right there straight away. Top on the list, 1.12.2. If you haven't got it, just head over to your installations, make sure that modded is ticked, and then search for a new installation and look for this one right here. Now we'll go ahead and close this down because we don't actually need this right now. Now that we've got the Forge installer installed, we want to actually get the Pixelmon mod, so that's the actual mod itself, and or any side mods that you might want with it, which I'll explain in a minute. So downloads, if you click download now, it's going to take you down the page and it's going to have all the corresponding downloads. The top one is usually the latest release, and this is also where you can check if they're compatible with a Forge that you've just downloaded. I'm going to go ahead and click download on the top one on the list there, because that's going to be the latest version. It's going to bring you to the MediaFire page, and you're going to hit the blue download button. It will usually open up another page which you just want to close down right there. Go ahead to your downloads and just make sure that it's actually able to download. It might at first tell you you're not allowed to, just make sure you actually press keep and make sure the file is a Pixel Generations 1.12.2 with a few numbers and then jar. Make sure it is the right one before you go ahead and download it. It's a bit of a large file, so it can take a little bit longer. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave that downloading in the meantime, and we want to go check out any side mods. So if we just go back on the page over here and then we scroll down, of course I will be leaving the links to all of this in the description, you can see down here that we got download side mods. Now if you click here, you can check out any side mods that go along with Pixelmon. It'll add different features and just make the gameplay a little bit better. If you see here, it says version, and a lot of them will either be universal, it'll be for servers in particularly, and you got everything from pixel extras, Wonder Trade, Eco Bridge, Vitality for APIs, and all good stuff like that. So at this point, as the other one's downloading, we may as well download the ones that we want. So let's say we want Pixelmon Extras, or any of these mods, doesn't matter, you can download all of them if you want to. They are added equally as easily. It's not a big long process. Probably the longest process would just be downloading them individually. So let's say we want the Pixelmon Extra, for example. We're going to hit download. Very much in the same way, we're going to hit download again. It's going to be a slightly different screen. You can press on this one, the blue download button right there, and it's going to download it to your PC on there. Click the three buttons and go ahead to keep. So once the Pixelmon Generations mod has downloaded fully, it is quite a large one, so it will take a little bit longer, and all of your side mods, just make sure you got them in one easy folder to access, because you're going to need to move them to another folder just to get them going to the mods. Once downloaded, your folder should look a little bit like this. It will have all of the mods as a jar file. You also have your Pixelmon Generations right here, and all of the side mods up and down right here. So let's just put this folder aside for a second. We can go ahead and close the Pixelmon Generations page down, so we don't need that anymore, and the first thing to do is actually add our mods to our PC, so we're able to log on to servers using the same mods, and we can also use them for our single player worlds. To do that, you're going to want to do a %mark, then app data in your search bar, and then a %mark once more. What this is going to do is going to bring you up to the folder, and the top one there is going to be .minecraft. All you got to do is double click on the .minecraft, and you're going to come down to folders right here. Now you're going to see that your folder is empty and you haven't got any mods in there because you've just started up your Forge, and you just won't have any mods actually in there already. So from here, we're going to head on to our folder where we actually downloaded all of our mods so far. We're going to select the ones that we want, and of course the Pixelmon Generations, because that is the actual Pixelmon mod, the main one. It's the biggest file, and that's what will play our Pixelmon mod on there. So if you just want a plain Pixelmon server, you can just do the Pixelmon Generations right here. Everything else will be optional and a side mod if you want to. I just wanted to show you how you can do it in case you wanted to add them as well. So let's go ahead and select Pixelmon Generations. We want that, and then just go and find any side mods that you want to add as well. I'm going to go for the AGP right here. I'm going to go for Pixels Extra, Pixel Hunt, Pokey Clear, Pokey Stops, and also Vitality. So as you can see, I've got the exact mods that I want on the server. So I've got the main Pixelmon Generations one right here, and all the other ones are side mods. So let's go ahead and copy these files right here. Now we can go back to our app data file. Again, that was %mark, app data %mark again. Open it up, go to .minecraft, head on back to your mods file right here, and we're going to go ahead and paste the files. So now we've got all of our mods all in the right folder. This might just take a minute. It shouldn't take as long as actually downloading the Pixelmon mod. It's usually a little bit faster. And once complete, you will have all of your mods in the mod folder for your Forge 1.12.2 installer, and you can go ahead and actually play a single player game now. So let's just close these down, and we're just going to head over to Forge just to make sure that we can actually log in with our single player and make sure that the mods are loaded on our PC side. So we've got our Minecraft launcher opened up, we've got our Forge 1.12.2, make sure you actually have this selected before you press play, otherwise it will just be on a different version. So select this one and go ahead and press play. As you can see, the mods are actually starting to work already, they've been downloaded. One thing you might have noticed as well is the Biomes of Plenty. That also comes as another mod that will be added within the pack just to make the experience a little bit better. So don't worry, not a glitch, that has been added to the Pixelmon pack. So we've all started up, let's go ahead to our mods folder here, and you're going to see that we have all of our mods loaded in. We've got Biomes of Plenty, Pixelmon, Pixel Extras, and everything like that. So we're going to go ahead and press done. Then we're going to go to single player. Let's go ahead and create a new world. And just like that, we have our Pixelmon activated. We can go ahead, pick our Pokemon. And as you can see, we have other Pokemon, so we can start a fight, try and run, etc. And we've got the game working single player. So now that we've got all of our mods added to our PC, we now want to add the same mods to our server, so we can go ahead, join on with our friends and actually get playing. So back to the server now, and of course we need to upload our mods. To do this, just make sure that you have everything properly down. So you've got your Forge at 1.12.2, you've chosen your world name. So let's just go ahead and start our server. Once we have started, we are going to have to change up some of the files. However, we need it to actually start first to have the settings there to save. And you're almost there. All you need to do now is add your mods, just change a few bits in the settings just for the Biomes of Plenty to work. And I just want to specify that particular mod will get added in with the Pixelmon Generations jar. As soon as it starts up, it will also open up the Biomes of Plenty. Don't have to go download that manually, and it'll be the same for your PC. Once you've uploaded it to your mods, it will also upload the Biomes of Plenty jar, which will then upload the mod so you can use it. So as you can see, we've now all started here with our server, and what we want to do is just head over to our files, and what we want to do, again, unfortunately, is just going to be stopping the server. So there's going to be a few things that we want to do here just to make sure that it's working properly. The first thing is going to files, and we're going to go to config files, and we're going to go to server settings. Here, of course, I would suggest changing this over to how you want it, because you may as well do this now rather than later. So change all of your settings, whether you want to allow nether, difficulty, and all that stuff. So what we're going to be doing is going to level type, and we're going to be choosing customized. It normally will come on default, so we just got to change that. And we're going to come down to save. Once we've saved, you can see config file saved, and we're going to come down to Pixelmon, or whatever your server is called. Now that we've done that, we actually want to get our mods added onto our server. And to do this, you can just go onto your FTP file access, you can go to mods, and you can upload them one by one using the upload button. I wouldn't suggest trying to upload them all at the same time, so that won't work very well. However, what I prefer to do is use FileZilla. I just find it a lot easier, a lot quicker to actually transfer the files over. If you're not sure how to do this, we do have a very quick and easy tutorial just to get yourself logged in. It just involves using your FTP file access information, popping in the host username, password, and port just there. Of course, once you have connected, you can just use the quick connect button over there, and you can see this is what we have in our server. We have our World, and we have our mods folder. However, we don't actually have any mods in there. So what we're going to do, the same as before, we're going to put our mods in there. So on the left hand side, I have my file. So as you can see, I had Pixelmon, and here we have all the mods. So first of all, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding the main Pixelmon Generations over here. So I'm just going to highlight this. If you do have Biomes of Plenty, don't worry, don't have to add that on. That will just come on with the Pixelmon Generations mod. So let's just go to the AGP because we wanted that. We also had Pixel Extras, Pixel Hunt, Pixel Clear, and Vitality. So these are all the mods that we added on our PC side. So this is what we're going to have to add on the server, and anybody else that wants to join your server will have to have the same mods. So it's always good to have a list of the mods that you do have. And if you actually want to join the server, because I will make it public so people can actually go on and play as well, I've got a very neat web page which will show you all the links to actually download these as well. So let's go ahead and just drag these to the right hand side. And again, if you are using your FTP file access on the multicraft over here, it's just going to be a case of going to your mods folder. As you can see, they're already been added, and going to upload and adding them one by one over here. Now this will take a little bit. All the rest of the mods will go quite quickly. However, the Pixelmon Generations will take a little while, so we'll catch you again when this is all done, and we'll finish up with the server. Great, so with that all done, we can now go back to our server. We can close FileZilla or come off of this if you're on your FTP file access. And now we're going to be changing a few bits around. So one of the first things to do before you actually start your server is just come over to your FTP file access one more time, and you're going to delete your old world. The reason for this is because with the Biomes of Plenty, it's just not going to work. The generation isn't going to work, or isn't going to be that good, or it might be a bit buggy, and we don't want that. We want a nice fresh world with good generation. So we've deleted the world, so when it opens back up again, it will make another world by the same name. So now we need to change one more thing. Of course, you've come over to your files, you've changed the config file so it's a custom server. However, one more thing that you need to do is come over to your FTP file access and then come down to your server properties and then manually change it. So if we come over to edit on the right hand side here, SeekaHost do have a very neat way of being able to do that and just edit it on site without having to use Notepad++. If we come down to level type, you can see it's now customized. That would normally say default or whatever level type you have. If we take this out right here and we're going to do it all in capitals, and it's going to be biomes OP, so biomes aplenty. That's all in capitals with no spaces, and then we're going to go ahead and save. Now that's all saved, we're going to come down to our Pixelmon server and we've pretty much got everything ready. We can now go ahead and start our server. We've got all of our mods, and if you're worried about the biomes aplenty, why haven't I got it, why isn't it in my list, that will generate as soon as you start the Pixelmon Generations mod, and it's also generated on your PC as well. As soon as you've uploaded it to your PC and your Forge, that's also opened up the biomes aplenty mod. So we're just going to wait a minute now just for it all to load up, so then we can come and join in ourselves. Once it is done, we can then start sharing our domain or IP on port with our friends and start growing the server, get people joining on and having fun with the Pixelmon mod. Now the server's all started up, we're just going to open up Minecraft Launcher again. Of course, we're going to be on 1.12.2 Forge, and we're going to go ahead and play. We're going to go find our server and then join on. Now that our launcher is all opened up, we're going to go to multiplayer, then we're going to go ahead and add our server. So I've added mine, just called it JDogs Pixelmon. I probably need to change the message of the day and stuff like that, but again, you can just do that later. As you can see, the server's open and we have our ticks. Let's go ahead and join server. We can now just go and pick a Pokemon, and just like that, we have our Pixelmon server full with all the biomes aplenty, all the other mods that you've added, and you can now get your friends joining. Of course, just make sure if your friends do want to join that they've got the same mods added, and if you do want to try this server out yourself, I'll leave the IP and stuff like that in the description, or the page to actually get joined from. I'll leave all the mods on there which I've used myself, so you can download them yourselves, all the links to actually get the mods as well, and then if you really like it, get yourself your own Pixelmon server. So thanks again for watching, we'll catch you again on the next Minecraft video. Bye bye.